Google Pest Control Marketer. Grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.
Hello, folks. This is Hal Coleman, and welcome to yet another episode of Pest Control Marketing Live and the Pest Control Marketing Podcast. I'm here as usual with my cohort, my friend, my mentor, my business partner, and my partner in crime, Mr. Online Mike Stewart. How you doing today, Mike?
Oh, it's a great day in the neighborhood, as Mr. Rogers used to say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Great day, period.
Great day.
So what do you, I think you mentioned that you had something you wanted to talk about today on the show. And how many episodes is this that we've done? Can you just grab a hunch out of the air?
It's about 130. This is the 130th episode.
100, you know, you and I get together now that you live in Nashville, 250 miles away. We get together a lot more than you did when you lived here.
Yeah, you know, we lived about 30 miles apart from each other, and we still did virtual meeting because nobody wanted to get on 400
Georgia 400.
Georgia 400 because
hell,
I could almost get to Nashville by the time I get home from your house at 5 o'clock.
Somebody asked me the other day how long I had known you. I think they were checking you out, and they're like, how long have you known? I've been thinking about using Mike. Have you known him for very long? I said, well, maybe 41, 42 years. I said, we've been working together, and I was you were in full-time recording business, and you had probably one of the nicest, maybe even the nicest studio in Atlanta. I don't know at the time, but I was in the bug business. So I would be bug guy by day, and then I would be jingle writer and voiceover talent for you at the studio by night and on the weekends. And we were writing and producing jingles for banks and furniture stores and automobile dealerships. And I started talking to this guy. I said, as a matter of fact, one of the jingles that I wrote that we produced just popped into my head, and it was called "Don't Beat Around the Bush."
I remember it.
Do you remember that?
I remember
and it was kind of a Johnny Cash sounded like, and it was like, we don't beat around the bush when it comes to making deals. We'll load you down with savings on a brand new set of wheels. It's the quality you're looking for from a name that you can trust. Because when it comes to satisfaction, we don't beat around the bush. Or something like that.
That was it.
That was it. I can't do it anymore like I used to, but we wrote some absolute dynamite jingles for people. And
well, you know, radio jingles and the thing that got me, you know, to have a studio, that was how I was able to make a living with my recording studio. And then, of course, today, radio and television is the internet. And so all I did was the principles of radio and television they've been pretty constant, but the technologies, the delivery of the content, and the ability to create that content was out of reach of the public years ago. And now your cell phone can do anything.
Yeah, I remember you calling me one day, or we were talking. I don't know if you called me. You said, Hal, I am blown away. I want to tell you, you got to come over to my house and see this machine I've got. You can sing into a microphone. And I've got a thing that looks like a heart monitor that measures the sound waves. And you see this little thing bleeping up and down on it. And I can speed it up. I can slow it down. I can chop pieces out. I can edit it. You said it's just, I'm blown away. I'm just blown away by this thing. You said this is going to replace my whole 12-track studio. This little thing I have on my computer. And
right.
course, when I saw it, I was blown away too, but it was way over my head. But that was the beginnings. That was when you went from reel to digital.
Well, absolutely. That was in the 90s, by the way.
And I remember
I had one of the first digital studios in Atlanta, and we used it for commercials and records and all kinds of different projects. But I'll tell you what I wanted to talk about today, that most people won't make it a priority, and that is creating lots and lots of content. And what I mean by content is either written, something that you set at a computer. Back in the old days, it was a typewriter, but now it's a computer. You set at a keyboard and you type your information in, or you get a microphone. Like you got a microphone hanging there. I got a microphone. In fact, here's my new microphone. People can't see it on the podcast. This is the hottest, latest podcast microphone out today, called the SM8. It's what I'm telling everybody to buy. The microphone you have is what was cool 20 years ago. And it's still a good microphone.
I got it from you about 20 years
ago. It's still a good microphone. But I figured, since I was into podcasting, that I would get the latest and greatest. This is called the Shure SM8.
I'm reading on mine what it says. It says Sears and Roebuck.
Sears and Roebuck, Silvertone. Yeah, that's what you know. No, you don't. It's an Audio Technica.
Audio Technica.
Yeah, which is still a great microphone. I still have them. But the thing is you either speak into a microphone, or you look at the lens of a camera. Like right here, you see where my finger is going? That's the lens of my webcam. The webcam, the cell phone. I mean, there are more cameras and microphones available today than ever in the history of technology. And everybody owns them. But most people don't use them with the mindset of content marketing. I remember the day I told you that you needed to do a pest control podcast. And I think you did, in the beginning, you did a few shows on your own.
And that was when I had my pest control business. Now we're talking going back over 20 years. I did a thing called Yucky.
Well, no, that was pre-podcast. That was the YouTube, the Yucky Nasty Bug Facts.
Okay, that was
video content marketing.
Yeah, podcast. Yes, I had. I got it here somewhere. I did probably 12 or 15 episodes on my own with a little microphone. I could have gone into a restaurant and sat there and done a podcast episode from a program I think called Boss Jock or something.
Yeah, there was Boss Jock.
I plug it all into here, and I could go sit down late and do a podcast episode.
Absolutely, but let's boil it down to what people. I have clients and coaching clients that are willing to do what needs to be done, and then others either have the excuse, I don't have the time, I don't like it, I don't like how I sound. They come up with all these smokescreen excuses. There's no excuse for it. I used to say I have a face for radio. I have a voice for nothing. I mean, I'm just a person with content. I have information.
You're real.
Right. And you're real too. So at any rate, one of the ways to build an internet presence, there's really only two ways to build an internet presence. And we do both ways with our clients when it comes to the online. Number one, you can buy advertising. There's 100 places to spend money to get eyes and ears to hear your advertising message. So buying, you got a budget, you can buy eyeballs and ears.
You can buy the way there, or you can work your way.
Or you can earn your way there with content. Search engine people, search engine SEO people, search engine optimization is what that stands for. They all swear up and down that they know secret sauces to trick Google and Yahoo and Bing and all these search engines to rising you to the top. But my experience is the minute you trick a search engine, they figure out the trick, and the trick is no good anymore.
Oh, yeah. You know what happened to our friend who was an attorney a few years back who had about 30 or 40 different websites, and somebody told her how to trick Google for ranking, and she did, and she woke up one day and all of her websites were gone.
Right.
Vanished from the internet, and they stayed gone for about 3 months, and then one day they were back. Now you can't call up and say, hey, yeah, this is Hal Coleman. I will speak to Fred Google. I got a problem here. And you tell him I want to get him on the phone. I want to speak to the top guy, Mr. Google. So you can't call and find out, where did my content go? Why did my website go from number 2 on the first page to the 40th page? Why has it disappeared? You try to trick Google with some of these slick hotshot guys that tell you they can do that, and they will get you in more trouble than you ever thought about being in.
I'm going to put a disclaimer. There are some good SEO people out there.
Yes, there are.
But then there are some people that do what's called black hat SEO, and that's trying to trick Google. And Google has got a team of people finding you and banning you. Now, what are the 2 things that you can do that is equivalent to search engine optimization? And that's content marketing, because you're not tricking Google. You're creating relevant content based on what people are looking for. And that, as long as it's original content that you created and it's relevant to what people are looking for, especially in your local area, you'll be amazed how many people will find you. And then the other thing that you can do with content marketing, like I said, is you want to get found with content marketing. You want to create content that's unique to you. And then, like I said, you can buy your way to the top. So those are the things that you need to be aware of. Is that, well, what's involved with this content marketing creation? Well, number 1, learn to answer questions. One of the biggest challenges, anybody can buy the equipment. Microphones are cheap. Everybody has the internet. Everybody has cell phones. So the tools to make good content to get found in the search engines, and that content won't get banned because it's real. In fact, the websites like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, they all want fresh content. But there's nothing as important as content on your website. That's why we tell all of our coaching clients, have a website with a blog and a podcast. And they go, well, what is that? Well, all a blog is more pages on your website. When you build a website, a business website, it's 10, 20 pages. It's like a brochure. It's your services and your testimonials, your Google reviews. I'm a big fan of using video content to build relationships while you sleep. In other words, people don't like to read. They will hit the play button of a video. That's your opportunity to do an elevator speech. So think of it as your elevator speech, electronically open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that when a prospect finds you. So if
you were in a restaurant owner, it would be like adding another item to your menu.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, when you get these 10 or 20 pages of your website that are the brochure marketing information and done correctly with response triggers, most people never do anything else. That's why a blog is a ugly word for adding another piece of content to your website. So instead of having a 20-page website, if you added a new page of information relevant to how people are looking on the internet, in a year, you would have 365 more pages. In a 2 year, you'd have 700 more pages. In 3 years, you get the idea, you have 1,000 more pages. Well, it's all about having good, original, relevant content and adding it to your website. And most people build a website and think, well, I'm done. I don't have to do anything else. Well, that's not how it works. That's why we continue to do our podcast. We continue to do our blog. We continue to add videos to YouTube, because this content marketing that we do gets people to find us, know us, like us, and trust us. There's nothing more powerful than audio and video to build a know, like, and trust factor. Absolutely. So we're not just saying this is a good idea because we think you need to do it for your business. We do it for our business. Wouldn't you say this podcast is the number one way people find us, trust us enough to call us?
that's where 98% of my business comes from nowadays. Is first thing if somebody leaves me a message and I can get back in touch with them, as we covered on a previous episode.
Right.
But yeah, my first question is, I love to talk with you. So how'd you find out about me? And it's either they've been watching my videos or they're watching the podcast. And
or listening to it.
They call Pest Control Marketing Live our videos too.
Right.
So, but this content that we're doing right now is what drives all of my clients to me. And so
everything I do is either from paid advertising or content marketing. So it's not a matter of does it work? I know it works. But what happens is most businesses, one of the things that you and I don't struggle with is having the ability to create new content. In fact, you probably can tell from hearing our shows, we get together and go, what do you want to talk about? And that's it. That's it's because we know how to answer questions. We know the subject matter, and we're just answering questions. And that's what you have to do. You have to answer the questions your prospects, your customers have. So
we had a client that just did a Facebook a video and put on Facebook and on YouTube. And I said, look, I don't know what to say. I wouldn't know what to say or how to say. Look, what you're telling me is you can't go out to a customer's house and give them an estimate? No, I do that. I go out there, and if they say, I think I've got bed bugs, you can't go out there and look at it and tell them what the problem is and how to cure it. Well, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. I said, well, then when you're on your way to the next one, buy one of those little things that fits on put your phone on there. And when you get in the truck, I said, don't do all this while you're driving, but pull up on video and go live with it if you want to on Facebook, and just be right along. Say, hey, this is Fred Johnson with Fred's Pest Control, and I'm on the way to a customer's house because they think they have bed bugs. And I talked to them on the phone, and here they were. Or you can say, hey, this is Fred with Fred's Pest Control. I just left a customer's house who's got a bad bed bug problem. And they're living with it now. They're getting bitten and they're getting eaten up by bed bugs. They're freaked out. And I said, when did you first see the first one? And, don't take your hands off the wheels and do this like I just did. Okay. But, I told them if they had called me 2 months ago, they wouldn't be such bad shape. But I said, just talk. And he did one and sent it to me, and it looked real good. He did a good job with it. He doesn't think he did, but I said, you were just real. You were just talking on that video just like you were talking to a customer, and that's all you do. It doesn't matter if you say if you say or whatever. It doesn't matter if you sneeze, if you cough. But it doesn't matter. You're just real, and you're establishing a relationship, and that's the content that Google loves.
Well, what I want to get around to is owning the tools to make content is paramount, and you already own most of them. You have the internet, you have a cell phone. The other things are cheap. Learning some basic editing skills only makes it better. Using the elements of radio and television are things that we highly recommend. But at the end of the day, making content when your competitors don't has made our clients rise above in a multitude of ways. The content helps build you a bigger local presence. So in other words, there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And that's one of the things that we help our clients with is how to title videos, how to title blog posts. One of the things that I don't like to do, and I remember when you started blogging, how you would actually sit there as a journalist and type. What I recommend,
wrote articles, yeah.
Yeah, what I recommend is record. And now there are great websites like otter.ai where you can upload your recording and it transcribes it, and it's about 99% accurate. You can do a quick little edit, and now you've got a written blog post, and now you've got an audio recording that can become a podcast. Just give you an example. One of our good students, Fred Talley. Fred, I said, you need to think of things people are searching for that would get them to find your website and know that you're a pest control agency or pest control operator. And he said, well, I take care of termites, I take care of rats, I take care of mosquitoes. And I said, well, are there anything else? I said, look here. And this was a conversation we had. I said, look here, Fred, people are really searching a lot for murder hornets. Well, he says, well, Mike, I'm not going to do it. He says that we don't even have murder hornets in Georgia. I said, it doesn't matter, Fred. People are looking for information about murder hornets because there was some big article in the last year or so how murder hornets were attacking the West Coast or something. I don't remember.
I know. Yeah.
So everybody's Googling murder hornets. Well, guess what? We did an episode where he said, this is what a murder hornet is, and we ain't got them. So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But guess what? When people Google murder hornets in his market, his website is number one for that search, and it turned into a customer.
Yeah.
So he said, we did another episode. Millipedes are bugs that aren't insects. And he had got 3 customers off of the fact that people were looking for content about millipedes. Now, why did he rank so high for the word millipede? Because none of his competitors wrote any content about millipedes.
Yeah.
So the thing is, there's ways.
Not only do they find you, but when they hear you talk intelligently about it, or they read an article about it, now you have become an author and a public figure and a celebrity, and you have instant credibility with them. Now, people that would call me and say, "You're Al Coleman. You're the guy on the podcast. Oh my God, you sound just like you do. I can't believe you answered the phone. This is really you. I never expected to get to talk to you. Oh my God." And I'm like, well, get over it. It's me.
It's when you do things that others don't, you become the authority.
There you go.
And we've talked about it. In fact, Google it. Authority blogging has been one of the most powerful content marketing strategies for the last 20 years. And most people I go and see don't have a blog, don't have a podcast, don't have a YouTube channel. Oh, but they're all over Facebook, the wonderful Facebook. I want you to help me with my social media. And 9 times out of 10, they hire some social media company that goes, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas from all of us at North Fulton Exterminating. In other words, that's lemonade for 50 cents. You've got to make relevant content explaining that you're the authority when it comes to problems that could result in a customer. So therefore, content marketing, people struggle with, I've given you one tip. Just talk about what people search for. There's actually a website called trends.google.com. Trends.google.com. You can go there and it will tell you what are the most popular searched words in your area, down to the county. So if people are looking for information about murder hornets,
any way you can put that link up here on the
sure.
live?
Well, it's for the sake of the podcast, it is. I'm going to type it in here. It's trends.google.com, and what Google will do, and I put it up here on the screen so that people can see it.
Trends, okay.
Trends.google.com. You can go there and type in words and find out what words are being searched in your city, ranked by city.
Yeah, for y'all that are listening, it's TRENDS, not trend, not trans, TRANS.
Trends.google.
Yeah, trend.
So anyway, you're never going to run out of ideas. Now, let me tell you something else that I created recently about content marketing. And I first of all, if you're not doing a blog and you're not doing a podcast, you can call me and I will show you how easy this is to get this implemented. My phone number is 3662. I would love to talk to you. If you're not doing a blog and you're not doing a podcast, huge missed opportunity. But this is something that we're starting to implement with our clients this year, Hal, and this is what I wanted to talk about. I call it the local community business spotlight. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I like it.
The local business community spotlight. Let's say, and I'm sure Hal teaches you in the offline world that it's a good idea to become a member of the chamber and Rotary and business organizations like BNI and networking groups and business after hours. In other words, where you're out handing out business cards and doing your elevator speech. Well, that's where you run into local business celebrities. You know, people who the big chiropractor in town, the real estate agents that are movers and shakers, the mortgage brokers, the mayor, the mayor, the insurance agency, the owner of the car dealership, all of these business owners. Well, these business owners, if you said, "Hi, I'm Hal Coleman with North Fulton," they go, "Well, that's nice. Thank you for the business card." If you're a pest control agency or any business for that matter, and you say, "Hal, I'd like to spotlight your business on my podcast." Well, what does that mean? Well, I'd like to maybe spend 10 or 15 minutes of your time, and you don't even have to leave your house. You could be on your phone, and I'd like to have you as a guest on my podcast, and I would like to just let you talk about your business so that my listeners and my customers that listen to my show learn about your business. Well, and if you're not interested, do you know any other real estate agents that might be interested if you don't want to do it? Well, guess what they're going to want to do?
They're going to want to do it.
They're going to want to do it. Now, here's what happens. There is a kid in North Georgia that I remember when he started at the Coming Georgia Business After Hours and the Coming Georgia Chamber of Commerce. He was a young real estate agent named Mark Spain. Now that kid, he's still a kid because he's the age of my kids. He is up here in Nashville. He is a multi-million-dollar television advertising all over the Southeast real estate agent. If you had an interview with Mark Spain on your pest control blog and people were looking for him, you would come up.
Yeah.
And that's with chiropractors. So what we're teaching people is find rock stars in your local market, because Dr. Hal Coleman, chiropractor, is unique to your area. And people are Googling for him and they would find your blog post.
There's a Dr. Hal Coleman, chiropractor. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
He is a nutcracker.
I bet he is.
So at any rate, creating content is not hard when you start getting the right mindset. And like I said, today was about content. If you don't believe content marketing is a real thing, Google the articles out there on content marketing and how powerful it is. It is the SEO that doesn't get banned.
And if you are a pest control operator or wildlife control operator, if you are in any blue collar home services industry like we are, I'm a blue collar guy through and through. Our industries are made up of people who are, for the most part, technophobes, and we try to earn money the old hard way by just doing a good job and getting people to refer us, which is great, and that works. But I'm telling you, if you want to learn how to use the internet to create phone calls, bukus of phone calls and new customers, you're going to stand alone out there and reap it all, because none of your competitors are doing it. Nobody's doing this stuff in our industry. Now, Mike, the world you come from, which is internet marketing, they're all doing it. But you know what? None of them are showing up at the Chamber of Commerce meeting to get local business either.
No. They're the world that this has been taught from are people that are building worldwide audiences, and you need to build local. You need to build a local audience, and your local audience is not doing this. I got one quick other story, and then we'll probably bring this to a close. I'm here in Nashville, and because of you, Hal, I still go to a networking meeting. I could sit behind this computer and never leave the house, but it's nice to get out every once a week and just, I made friends. You wouldn't believe the amount of good things that came from the referral network that I built in this networking meeting since I moved to Nashville. And in my networking group, Madeline Smith was a real estate agent that moved here from up north somewhere. Now you talk about, coming into a market and not knowing anybody. I mean, real estate is all about having relationships.
Right.
So she came into the networking group, and she was kind of I'll give her credit for this idea. She came into the group and she said, we have a thing. What is your ask? Every time you do a elevator speech, you're allowed to say, what you're looking for. She says, I want people to be a guest on my YouTube channel. She says, I'd like to interview you about your business. And so people were just saying, well, sure, I'll be glad to do that. I'll be glad to do that. And in 3 years, she has gone from nothing to where she is a top Nashville real estate agent because she interviewed enough business leaders, and they became referral partners because when she would do the videos and the podcasts and all that kind of stuff, is those business owners would say, well, hey, you need to see me this interview I did with this real estate agent. So they shared their video with their customers, which became a relationship start referral for her while she was doing other things. So I know it works. And I named it the Business Community Spotlight. How many pest control companies are asking local businesses to be on their podcast? Nobody. So anyway, that's what we do. Call Hal at 770-993-0004. If you want to have some more in-depth information about all the things Hal and I do, call us. That's right. You're hearing us on this podcast. When you dial that number, Hal, either his answer machine will get it or he'll get it.
But it won't say the number you have reached is not taking calls. Please leave a message and you'll hear me. You'll hear me answer, believe me.
And I'm Mike Stewart at 770-826-3662. But anyway, content marketing, get creative, get the tools, and build a local internet presence. Who would have thought millipedes and murder hornets would have generated a new lead for, what's the value of one new customer?
$6,000 over a 10-year period. Mike, this has been great. And you brought some good stuff to the table today. And I didn't know what you were going to talk about, but you said it was something good. And as usual, you hit the nail on the head. So folks, I hope you got some good nuggets from Mike today. And he told you how to get in touch with us if you want to find out more about how we can help you. And with that, we're going into the holiday season. Y'all be safe and stay tuned for the next episode of Pest Control Marketing.live and the Pest Control Marketing Podcast.
Hal Coleman has been active in the pest control industry for over 40 years, including owning and operating his own successful pest control business for 18 years. He now devotes his time to helping other PCOs and other WCOs double, triple, and even quadruple their businesses faster than they ever imagined. Be sure to check out his website, pestcontrolmarketer.com. For more information about Hal's coaching program, you can reach him at 770-993-0004 or email him hal@halcoleman.com. Mike Stewart is known as the Internet audio and video guy. Since the birth of the Internet, Mike has been showing small business owners how to get more new customers, increase their sales, and grow their businesses online using audio and video, now with iPhones and Android phones. For more information about Mike's coaching program and his online training courses, visit MikeStewartCoaching.com or email him mike@internetaudioguide.com.
Google Pest Control Marketer. Grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.